Hi, we are bioLumen. So the problem at hand is that millions of people suffer from chronic low back pain. The mechanism is that muscles tense in response to injury. Thus, relaxing muscles reduces pain. The ideal treatment are interventions designed to target muscle tension patterns. So the solution is bioLumen, a system to promote relaxation of low back muscles. It measures muscle tension with surface electromyography to provide visual and auditory feedback to patients. This loop is known as biofeedback. So surface EMG biofeedback has been studied for decades. There are a few products on the market, however, very limited by very simple beeping feedback. What we want to do is change the user's environment. Okay, so colors can affect how a given stimulus is perceived. There are studies that show that pain is greater when a stimulus is associated to a red visual cue than when that same stimulus is associated to a blue visual cue. So the target population are patients with chronic low back pain for daily use at home as therapy. And now George will show us how it all works.
Hi, everybody. I'm George. So our system listens to a patient's muscles and triggers actions when the muscles are tense. So these actions are sent wirelessly and can be used to adjust the lighting, sound, and more in the user's environment. So we're using an existing LED light that the bioLumen system talks to. This could be a GE Systems or a Philips Hue light, any existing light that can just be controlled by color. It remains blue right now when the muscle is calm, my bicep is calm, and red when the muscle is tight. So I'm connected to my bicep now just because so you can see me contracting, but it responds just as effectively on the lumbar muscles. Let's see. So the patient knows when his muscles are tense by the feedback of the red light, and then we can trigger a tense sound. You can hear the music changing a little bit when I trigger a tense sound. That extra little high pitch, that's all just being triggered by my muscle. Hopefully the Wi-Fi is working because you can also trigger actions to cloud-based systems. So you can turn the music down now. Today we have my arms posting tweets. So we have a Twitter account right now. Is it in real time? Yeah, oh, it's 2 hours ago. So the Wi-Fi is kind of weak, but basically it automatically pushes to Twitter. And if the Wi-Fi was working, you would also be getting messages to all your phones because we're pushing to Slack into the general channel. All my bicep is contracting. So those are fun, but more practically, we can kind of summarize that data and then say after a user uses a session of therapy during the day, it posts to EHR, like Health Cloud. We have that. Oh, it kicked us out. But we had a picture of a bar graph showing the data over time. So yeah, the device, yeah, so that's it. So we can go back to
Sure. Sure.
Sorry, is it for me?
Okay, so so where does that put us with market potential? So the total number of Americans with low back pain is 31 million. The total number of Americans who use wearables is 36 million. At an average selling point of the device at $99, and assuming a 5-year life cycle of any wearable tech is about 5 years, that gives us a projected market potential of 73 million. So this actually can be expanded to other potential uses, really any musculoskeletal pain, and also potential inpatient hospital use. So this is our team, and we are open to any questions. Thank you so much.
What about patient motivation to use this? I mean, have you any notion of how eager patients are going to be to do this and hook this up? And if they're depressed, are they going to say the hell with it and just not wear it? Or what's your experience or projection?
Sure. Well, this is all prototype, so I got wires coming out of everywhere, and
Yeah.
even though it's wireless, this could be put into a small box. Even the prototype can be put into a small box. We can even refactor it to a small PCB board and basically a tiny device. The actual computer on this is this little green circuit right here within the red.
Well, my question is patient motivation. I can appreciate you can make the technology smaller and smaller. That's not my question. Is will patients use it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. The idea is if you can be at home and just throw this on for half an hour a day, and just try to relax yourself. I know we're not trying to relieve pain 100%. If it works, that's great. But even if you can relieve 25% of patients' pain just by this, A, that is motivation for them. Hopefully, to want to use it, and B, we can cut down on the use of drugs.
Is there any data showing that if you would have like a session where you use this? What's the long-term, long-term meaning how many hours do you have reduced pain if you use it?
Yes, I actually want to show you what's actually already out there. And we actually have, so this is sort of the competition, and we actually have some of that data. So there's another device called the vMove by Dorsavi. It's a surface EMG biofeedback similar. They actually did a study in a multi-center cluster randomized placebo trial. They did 112 patients, 10-week treatment period, and they did it 4 to 10 hours in their activities of daily living for the purposes of this study. It actually did have significant sustained improvements in pain that persisted after treatment, and across 1 year there were significant differences favoring that intervention group. So it did prove to be effective with even just that tiny stimulus of just auditory noise, of just a beep. So we want to bring it to that next level, and that's sort of what, those limitations with the feedback's only auditory or not offering any relaxation techniques, we sort of can expand it out to that. And this is the status quo, the vMove is sort of incapable of affecting your environment, so we give that extra.
Would the patient need a clinician to instruct them how to do this, how to do relax? I know biofeedback works on its own, but would you have a clinician help them with relaxation or imagery or something to promote this? Would that not be necessary?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Quick answer. One thing is we could have a person in physical therapy for back pain. We could have a therapist do it, orientation training, and then it should be pretty easy.
You could have a video. They don't have to.
And to answer your last question, this is the graph we were trying to show before the Wi-Fi went out. This is then sent, the tweets, the Salesforce data, this is all pushed to the cloud. So the physician and the physical therapist all get this data as well. So on follow-up appointments, patient can show their physician, or the physician can actually bring up to the patient, you've been using it this much and your pain has gone down this much. Using it more would be beneficial. Or they can see that, hey, you're not using it. Let's increase the use of the device.
I like the fact that you made the MVP, which is the main goal of the MedMaker challenge. So this is good. And all of this, you got it done from concept to here in the last 48 hours?
The light is a pre-existing device that you would be able to get from Philips or GE, like we were saying. Usually you would control it with your phone to change it to a different color hue. And so that's not the product. The product is the actual device, and that is what it ends up sending the signals. And then all of this was this weekend.
Yeah, everything here. This device, what we bought, MyAware is a device you can buy that.
We had to individually purchase the components, but yeah, right.
You use